Please welcome John Giddings.
Michael Rapino once called me up and said, "What do you talk to Arthur about?" I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, Arthur never speaks." At which point I realized I talked shit and he just sat in the corner and smoked. So, who the fuck is Arthur Fogle? Which is probably the best misnomer of a movie I've ever heard, because you're talking about the person who's probably one of the biggest live touring people in the world today. He helped create the modern touring business. He was an architect of it. He's responsible for the top 4 tours of all time. That's not bad. A manager once said to me, "If you want loyalty, buy a dog." I said, "I don't need that. I've got Arthur, one of the most loyal people I've ever met in the whole of my life." Not a dog, don't worry about that. I've become a peripheral member of the Canadian mafia. You know the whole music business is run by the fucking Canadians. I mean, all of you lot, you know. It's hilarious. It's like Britain when they say such a small country, how did you get away with it? But seriously, through Arthur, I have been involved with the Rolling Stones, U2, Madonna, Shakira, Rihanna, Beyonce, Lady Gaga, Justin Timberlake, Sting. Won't mention Diana Ross, but that was the one that got away, right? Thank God for that. Without Arthur, I would not have a career, seriously. He's loyal, kind, generous, and one of my best friends. I'm very proud to know him. I tried to think of a story that didn't involve drugs or women, but failed miserably. We were young, honestly, Kayleen. So I thought I'd tell a story that actually shows his sense of humor. So we had David Bowie playing the Kremlin Palace in Moscow. We'd sold 5,000 tickets. It was a fantastic show. He went down a storm. But we'd done this deal whereby Moscow TV could film the show for advertising the show in advance. So we go backstage and we think, God, we're geniuses. David is going to love us. And David's going absolutely bonkers. And we can't work it out. And suddenly we realize he's saying, I can't let the film go out because the first 2 rows were dignitaries sitting with their fingers in their ears, the important people, right? So he said, get the film. So we're in the middle of Moscow and we think, what do we do? So we came up with this concept, went to the TV people and said, David wants to edit the show. Complete, absolute lie. So we got in the back of this car with these 2 Russian henchmen. I mean, how we did it, I don't know. They were like thugs. And we drove across Moscow to this back of this TV studio in this dark alleyway. I swear to God, we got out the car and there was a dead cat there. And Arthur looked at me and he said, have you got your passport? I said, why? He said, because when they find our bodies, they'll want to know who we are. Anyway, Arthur, we fucking love you, and these people love you too. Here you go.
He's a very unique dude. There's no one like him out there. That's why Madonna or U2 or Jay-Z, like, we're not stupid. I mean, it's only one of him, and we want to be where he is.
You're absolutely confident of a strategy and a plan. You kind of have to put your blinders up and your defenses against all those that may want you to fail. And there were many of those, and failure is not an option.
Arthur's style is probably about contemplating and just making sure he thinks strategically. It's about looking at the long view. It's not about where we are tomorrow, it's where we're going to be in 10 years.
We love Arthur because we remember a time when we used to lie awake at night and not being able to sleep, wondering how we were going to pay for these shows. And now we don't lie awake stressing about it. Arthur Fogle does.
Big Madonna tours that Arthur and she have done together are amongst the most successful tours of all time. The statistics keep backing up the obvious fact, which is that he really knows how to do this.
You are an incredible force in the music industry, and we are also grateful to have you. I know that you have given me the most powerful experience in my life, which is being able to perform live in front of thousands of people. So you absolutely deserve this. So thank you from the artist community. We love you.
There's no question that Arthur's put together a huge network of people, and it's all about team, you know, and it starts with the band. I mean, Arthur was a player, he was a musician in a band, you know, these people have to work, they have to work together.
I've been on the firing line with Arthur day in and day out, and I was there for years, and let me just tell you, from the beginning he was great, he still is great, and I'm sure he'll continue to be great in the future. Long overdue award, well deserved. Good luck, old pal.
Congratulations, Arthur. Welcome to the club, as it were.
I've been honored to have been part of this amazing run the last 30 plus years. This award is well deserved. Congratulations, Arthur.
I know I speak for all of our international promoters when I say congratulations tonight, and thanks, of course, for all that you do for us.
Congratulations, my friend. Well done.
Congratulations, Arthur, on being inducted into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame. I like to see drummers doing well, and you deserve it. Well done.
Arthur, I am so proud of you. The amazing success you have had through the years, and now this huge honor here in Canada makes me so specially proud, and as well as the family. Congratulations and lots of love.
Please welcome to the stage Michael Rapino, CEO of Live Nation.
All right, thank you. Honored to be here tonight. It's always nice to come back to Toronto, but of course couldn't think of missing tonight. Arthur has been a huge inspiration in my life. I mentioned earlier today one of the reasons that I am where I am today and what I wanted to get done in life was from Arthur and Michael and CPI and these Canadians that started this kind of global touring revolution. Arthur then went on to really take it to new heights. We've been brother in arms for the last 15 years or so. Proud to have him. We couldn't have built Live Nation without him. Him and I and our kind of the two Canadians from Thunder Bay and Ottawa that made their way to Beverly Hills. Don't still quite fit in, but we found a way to do it our way, and he certainly has his style about him. You can't meet a more loyal, dedicated friend than this man. I was going to talk about all the great things he's done, but Bono did it, so what more can I say? That video says it all. The artists of this caliber that will only work with Arthur Fogel. You know, the one funny story about Arthur, and I shouldn't say funny because much like John, we went through what can we say or not. The irony about Arthur, as you learn, is as a Canadian growing up in Thunder Bay, I looked up to CPI and this Arthur Fogel, Michael Cole. And I actually thought that was the way it worked. I thought every country must have this Arthur Fogel, Michael Cole. And then you start realizing the rest of the world have regional promoters, but there was really no other Michael Cole or Arthur Fogel that kind of went on a global basis. They really did break great ground and create an entirely new model. And even in the world today, there's 3 or 4 of them that kind of work on a global basis out of the entire business. So, you know, real credit to Arthur on what he's been able to build with this caliber of artists. I'm honored that he's one of my closest friends, would do anything for him and his family, and honored that I could come back to Toronto and present him with this incredible inductee into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame.
Thank you. It's great to be here, and thank you to Neil Dixon and Canadian Music Week for this special honor. I don't think I could have ever written a script on how it started here in Canada and where it's ended up all these years later. I think, in fact, none of us really write the script. We're in it, and we certainly influence it in many ways, but ultimately, it's all the others that so greatly influence how it gets written. From my early days, Ron Chapman and Derek Andrews at The Edge, I knew nothing of being a nightclub manager, and they gave me a job. Mark and Martha and the Muffins, and Jerry Young for letting me drive the van around with them in it in circles, not knowing where I was going. To Michael Cole, Norman Perry, and the great Donald K. Donald, who's here tonight. My mentors for teaching me the business, each in their own way. They provided the best education you could ever ask for. Michael for teaching me the numbers and how to chase deals, even if you were an asshole sometimes. Norman for the importance of music and developing relationships with artists from the early days of their careers. And Donald, who truly defined the term impresario, the quintessential promoter. He knew how to generate excitement and how to sell tickets. And also a special thank you to the late, great Bill Ballard and Lloyd Burrow. To all of those I worked with in those early years, many of whom are still with us at Live Nation, Jerry Barrett, Susan Rosenberg, Eric Kurt, Craig Evans, Trez Thomas, Riley O'Connor, Ken Bro, Steve Howard, Deborah Rothwell, and many others, I thank you. To the great artists who believed in me and have allowed me to be a part of their brilliant careers, the late and greatest David Bowie, who I had the privilege of working with for 25 years. Bono, The Edge, Adam Larry, of course, U2, Madonna, the members of Rush, who were so well honored here tonight, Sting, Lady Gaga, it's kind of surreal to read this actually, Neil Young, Beyonce, Justin Timberlake. I'm going to borrow a line from Bono and say thank you to all of them for giving me a great life. To Paul McGuinness, Bill Zisplatt, Ray Daniels, the late Carice Henry, Kathy Schenker, Guy O'Siri, Elliot Roberts, thank you for the opportunities and the support. To Michael Rapino, my longtime friend and the brilliant leader who has built Live Nation into an amazing, artist-friendly global powerhouse. I'm proud to be there with you. To my 5 children who are here tonight, my beautiful and brilliant wife, Kayleen, you are the ones that have really given me a great life. My sister, my brother, Barry, it's great to have you all here, my family. And to my mother, who's here tonight, even though I didn't listen to her and my father when they urged me to get a real job all those years ago. Everyone else gave me a good life or a great life, but she gave me life, so she wins. This was truly the greatest place to learn the business. I love this country, I love this industry. I'm honored and I'm grateful. Thank you all.